not.
There are people here. Not mine.
There's several people here. Hey, Greg.
Hi, Lucie.
I don't know what the questions are.
Okay.
Oh. Well, how wish I could answer them for you. How's it feel to be back for the second year? Oh, this, I mean, obviously, I'm sorry I wasn't here for the whole week like I promised I would be. But we had a wonderful part and a wonderful Broadway show, Lost in Yonkers, and to say no to this week with me not doing it, so it's nice. We're just to be back and to be performing this time is nice, to bring a little bit of my show and not so that I can contribute something to Lucie's best. Although I feel sort of silly doing that because it's not really comedy per se, but you can't say no to Phil, of course. It's very difficult.
How are rehearsals going for the Broadway play?
How are they going?
How are they going?
They're going great. I mean, I'm working real hard. We open June 2nd and work every day.
Would you like the part? Right?
Have you seen Lost in Yonkers? Yeah, it's a wonderful part. It's a story about a struggle between a young girl coming of age who is, she's somewhat arrested emotionally and breaking away from her very controlling mother figure, and it's a very emotional part. It's very cathartic to play.
You've been filled in on the festival so far this year. It's different. Last year was theater and sort of play-based, and this year is much more vaudeville, physical comedy-based. Have you gotten any reviews or read Bob Plyler's sterling articles in the Post Journal?
I read Larry Luckenbill's wonderful review for Clarence Darrow, but no, I haven't heard a word. Wouldn't it be helpful if you guys stood over there? Then I could actually look at you, and would you like this?
See, the TV people won't use anything that radio says anyway, so.
Just glance back and forth all the lenses.
I see.
It's all right. It'll be all right.
Is there a mastermind for this plan here today?
What did you initially express enthusiasm about sort of the direction the festival is taking this year, in terms of maybe being more in your mother's legacy, in terms of formative influences of vaudeville and physical comedy?
Well, that's what they've done this year, I think, and I'm sorry I haven't had a chance to see more of it, to tell you what I think of how it's turned that direction. I haven't about what she was about. You know? It isn't just scattered comedy for comedy's sake. I hope it works. I don't know. What do you think? Is it better? What happened this year?
Just asking a journalist to answer a question.
Go ahead.
Why not?
Because you weren't able to make it this year, do you feel got much stronger that maybe you have to come back next year? And
I'm here. What do you mean I didn't make it? I'm standing in front of you. I'm going to perform and everything.
Let me rephrase that. I guess because you weren't here maybe as much as you planned to be here, I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh, you know, actually it's just the opposite. I think this festival has to stand on its own whether I show up or not. And I'll be thrilled to death to come any year that I can be here. I had more fun last year than I can possibly tell you. I wrote a whole article in the paper about it. It meant so much to me. And I fully intended to come back this year and be here all week long. But I realize these things do happen, and the chances of my working next year are very good, you know? And if I can get away and come up for the weekend and be a part of like what I'm doing now, that'll be great. And I think Jamestown has to take this festival and run with it and make it something regardless of how many of the family members show up. It should be about what it's about new comedy.
Is that doable, do you think? Is it possible to sustain with down here?
God, I hope so. I would never have, have assumed that it would only survive if Fred Ball or I show up, you know. I mean, I don't think that they should put this much energy into something that depends on other people like that. I mean, there are certainly, if you need celebrities in order to get the people, and there are other comedians and comedy people that certainly you could choose one a year and make them the focus point of the gala. And honor them. Like they were talking about a comedy hall of fame, that's not a bad idea. Let them do what they do and induct them into it or something. So, I'll always be wanting to be here, you know.
Have you had a lot of contact with James?
Actually, yes, a lot of my mother's friends that I had only heard about years before coming here, and then after having met them last year and interviewed them for the documentary that we were working on, I've kept in contact with almost every one of them. And it's weird because I'm here now and I haven't seen Marion and I haven't seen Pauline, and I have to wait till after the show tonight to see all these people. And people like John Hamilton, who is had become a really dear and close friend of my husband's and mine. Some wonderful people in the Jamestown area, just real salt of the earth kind of folks, a lot like my grandmother. I can see where my mother's stock came from. They're all very similar.
Have you learned more about your mother? People telling you all these stories?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I came back here last year and the press was all asking me about her, and I was saying, well, you guys are from Jamestown. You tell me about her. I came here to find out about my roots. And I went over to Lakeview Cemetery today to see how the new headstones came out, and they came out beautiful. Apparently there were 2 people in our family that were buried there that I didn't even know were there if Marion Van Black hadn't told me. So I went and made sure that they got markers so that we know they're there. And I haven't told my brother this yet, but my husband and I decided today that we really don't think it's necessary to have my grandmother Dee Dee and my mother in this forest lawn place all by themselves over there when the whole entire family's here, and I'm going to sort of bring it up to the family that we try and move their stones so everybody can sort of be together. I think they should have a resting place with the rest of the dead. I don't know. I never thought about that stuff before, but it suddenly seems like it's important, you know.
I've also been talking with the city people about the progress on the Lucie Desi Center.
I read something in the paper about the Lucie Desi Center the other day that said it could take 3 more years to get it underway, which is too bad. But if it can be done right in the way we talk about it, it's a hands-on experience place. They have all the stuff. I sent them everything. We'll just wait until it's right time. Yes. I still think it's a really wonderful idea to walk through 2 people's lives that way, like you would do at Children's Museum. I thought your hand was raised. Say yes.
What sort of impact has this whole festival had for you personally? I know last year being the kickoff, the success that it was.
Kicked off and we were back there doing it and just hearing the I Love Lucy theme. And I don't know, it was my first trip to Jamestown. It was my first connection to her after her death in that way. And it was highly, highly emotional thing. And this year I have a strange sort of wanting to distance myself from it a little bit. I want to make it what it is. It's about the festival. And I think the festival, like just about what you said, should live on its own. It's a comedy festival. I don't think it should continue to keep being about Lucy. As you know, that much. And the first year was tribute Lucy beyond belief, and that's fine. That's the way it should be. But otherwise it becomes like a gigantic fan club, and I don't think that's what this, I wouldn't have wanted that. You know, I don't think she would want that. It was like, get a life, move on, you know, and it should become about the festival now. What is there to do here during the week? What is there to see? How good is it? Is it well organized? Will new young people be sending material to it every year? That's all it is, and it's nice that it's named after her. And it even became sort of strange to see some of the things going on that went on last year, like the grape stomping out there, and I think we have to move on from some of those things so it doesn't become fanatical, you know, even though it's cute. Anybody else? Truthfully, not really. No, because he didn't. It's not like he doesn't care. He just, how's he going to keep track? You know, I mean, there's no running commentary on the Jamestown Festival in the LA papers. And he lives in Nevada, so that would help him anyway. But Desi has another life that he lives very successfully and very happily with his wife and his daughter. They have their huge, big, you have to understand, my brother is married to a ballerina who has a dance school, and this exact weekend is their big recital, and my brother runs the lights. That's the truth. And he said, if I miss that, she doesn't speak to me all year. And that's just as important to him as this is to you guys. Family.
You can at least be comforted the Mambo Kings has finally come to Jamestown.
Did it?
Yeah, with the traditional 4-month lag.
Yeah. Well, it was a wonderful movie. I saw that twice. Not just because he was in it. I just thought that was a sensational film. Wonderful music. You're doing some of that music this evening, as a matter of fact. A little Latin flavor.
Lucy, how's your play going with you and Larry are doing Desi and your dad?
Yeah, well, he's still writing it. It's still in the writing stages. We can't give all of our time to it 100%. It's not our foremost project. But, maybe sometime next year. all I can say about that. I keep telling everybody it's being written, and I have no more news, so all I can say is
How about Seesaw? Is that still on the burner, although you're moving on to design plan?
well, it has to be on the back burner now, unfortunately. Who knew? I was going to try to make that happen right away, and yes, it's definitely going to happen. Cy Coleman would like to revive it, and we have producers, and we put out an invitation to my first choice leading man, who I can't tell you who that is.
Before I do anything else, let's hear once again for Johnny Cross and the Lucy Fest Babalu Swing Time Band. And as brilliantly funny as Lucy was, no comedy team could exist without a great straight man. And although Lucy worked with a lot of people, scenes with Lucy and Desi are some of the funniest moments in television history. And then there was his music. Music that still endures today, as you will hear with a performer that I know you will all love. But first, let's look at clowning, verbal volleyball, vaudeville, and physical comedy with our featured performers from Old Laughs, Lucie loved vaudeville. Fun!
Outside giving you a ticket? That policeman gave me a ticket for being a UFO. What do you mean UFO? An unidentified fat object. Another guy walks up to me and he wants to know if I'd like to be a Jehovah's Witness. Yeah, so what'd you tell him? I didn't even see the accent. Look, pal, I want you to be on your best behavior tonight. Why? You know, after the show I made dates first with some very lovely ladies. Not a blind date. Why nothing, pal? This one can see just as good as you can. I didn't even complain, Robert. Those last two girls you set us up with, yeah. You had the pick of them. Now, wait a minute. I gave you the pretty one. Yours antique. Well, you get a look at that, too? She opened cans with it. This girl had so much bridge work, every time I kissed, I had to pay toll. How can anybody look so healthy and be so dumb? They take vitamins. Did you ever go to school stupid? Yeah, I came home the same way. No. Look, you never went to school a day in your life. College. You went to college? I went to college. Prove it to me. Here's my college pen. That's a toothbrush. I went to Colgate. Yes. Sometimes his wife comes down and collects it. Whose wife? Yes. Yes. Look, when he signs the receipt, how does he sign it? Who? The guy at first. Who? The first base. Who? The name at first. That's how he signs it. That's how who signs it? Yes. Wouldn't be any good unless he signed it. That's who signed it? Absolutely. Look, all I'm trying to find out is what's the guy's name on first base? So what is on second base? I'm not asking you who's on second. Who is on first? I don't know. Third base. Have you got an outfield? Yes. Tell me the left fielder's name. Why? I just thought I'd ask you. Well, I just thought I'd tell you. Tell me the left fielder's name. Why? Because. Oh, he's center field. You know these players as well as I do. You got a pitcher on the team. Wouldn't this be a fine team without a pitcher? Tell me the pitcher's name. Tomorrow. What time? What time what? What time tomorrow? Tell me who's pitching. Now listen, who is not pitching? I'll break your arm if you say who's on first. Right. What's the pitcher's name? What's on second? I know, third base. Throws it naturally. You do nothing of the kind. You throw the ball to first base. Who gets that? That's what I said. I bring the ball and throw it naturally. You throw the ball to who? Naturally. Say it that way. You ask me. Who gets it? Naturally. You ask me. Who gets it? Naturally. Same as you. So I throw it naturally. You throw the ball to first base and who gets it? He better get it. All right, get on with it. Whoever it is drops the ball and the guy runs to second. Who picks up the ball and throws it to what? What throws it to I don't know. I don't know, throws it back to tomorrow. A triple play. Could be. Another guy gets up and it's a long fly ball to because. Why? I don't know. He's on third and I don't give a darn. I said I don't give a darn. Oh, that's our shortstop.
Our next performer's routine is a genuine celebration of human emotion. You know, one of the staples of any vaudeville program was something called the novelty act. And like all novelty acts, our next performer's routine is a genuine celebration of human imagination and virtuosity. From East Haddam, Connecticut, the next entertainer has a Bachelor of Arts degree in drama from SUNY College in Geneseo and a Bachelor of Fun Arts degree from the Ringling Brothers of Barnum and Bailey College in Venice, Florida. He has toured nationwide and been seen on 2 CBS television specials.
mind repeating that part again about human imagination and virtuosity? Right there.
Get over there! Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Casey Carl, the Bubble Dude!
Thank you. My name is Casey. I am a bubbleologist, a master of the fine art of bubbleology. The ability to combine elements of science in correlation with the laws of physics to magically create configurations of juxtaposing forces of nature inherent within the tri-molecular composition of spherical liquids. I do bubble. And sometimes she does. I present for you now a soap bubble concerto type thing for your entertainment and approval.
And now, herewith, How I Got to Jamestown is Julie Goel.
This is your final boarding call. Final boarding call. Please retain your stubs as your baggage will automatically be sent to an undisclosed location when you have come to the end of the moving walk. Please look down. Dans les passagers sont priés de passer la sécurité. Please extinguish your boarding card and take a seat. May I help you, please? Huh? Sorry, first time in airplane. Yes, ma'am, husband back the car out of the garage, ran over the dog's paws, and now they call him Flipper. Click. And now we invite you to sit back and relax to the soothing sounds of Guy Chinzano and his strings on Wings Orchestra.
This is your pilot speaking. We will be flying at an altitude of 300 million gazillion feet above sea level. And we won't be going back. Please take note that the pilots are on the front of the plane, the toilets are on the back of the plane, and the stinks are on the wings. Frequencies air to balance in, and please refrain from fuming. we have just received clearance for takeoff.
Delicaten, sensibel, diskutiert in our schemes like what? Das. Pardon.
Safe cucumbers.
No, it takes two slices, very.
New York City, and even the White House, where of course clowning is not merely an art, but a way of life. He now runs a theater company and a school in Maryland called Theatrics, but continues to tour his solo show throughout the country. So busy. And if you check your program, some of you may notice that I host a classical radio show in New York City. And that is why I'm particularly pleased as Punch this evening to introduce to you something with a little culture, finally. Here to present a classical music double bass solo is Tom Dowry. culture, you promised me classical music. Mr. Tom Dowery. We got you these guys instead. From Burlington, Vermont, please give a big round of applause for Waldo and Woodhead.
pleasure to introduce to you my friend, my partner, my business associate for 4.5 years, and the father of my children, the big man, Waldo, the world's greatest juggler.
That man right over there, my friend, my pal, my chum, my good buddy. That Rambo man, that snappy dresser. Look at them shorts. How about a nice hand for Woodhead? We'd like to dedicate this next routine to W.C. Fields because he used to be a juggler, a vaudeville juggler. And he used to perform these things, which are called cigar boxes. And this routine is called You Can't Get There From Here.
point.